got a couple of these AK2515 spectrum analyzers for $30-something each on AliExpress. And one problem I noticed, or I kind of knew about it before I bought it, but basically when you connect the power with no audio, it boots up, and then it goes into this clock mode. And I mean, who wants to have another clock in their house that they need to set and like update for DST and whatnot? So yeah, it's just kind of annoying to have this thing with a clock that you can't turn off. But it turns out I found from an Amazon review that this black module here is the real-time clock. And this corner pin is the ground for the clock. And this device is, I guess, secretly designed, or somewhat secretly designed, that if you disable the RTC by severing this pin, then it will go into standby mode instead. So the general technique, I mean, you kind of have to get a knife or something underneath this corner so that you can cut the pin. I ended up needing to use a soldering iron. I mean, there might be other ways, but yeah, I was basically able to slightly desolder this pin and just push it down enough to leave a gap that I could fit a knife through. So I have my second device here. Yeah, once you cut the pin, you just need to stick something, or I think it's probably helpful to stick like a piece of electrical tape in the gap that remains for it. You just need to, or basically just do whatever you need to do to cut that pin. So yeah, this one, we'll see when I boot it up. So instead of showing a clock, yeah, it still shows the splash screen, but yeah, it basically says this standby message instead. And yeah, if I leave this for long enough, it will eventually turn off completely. And also the whine on the display stops. So, but yeah, let's connect the audio for the moment. Oh, I think something hurt slightly. So yeah, I have audio playing here. It should eventually detect it. What's going on? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it does automatically wake from standby. And I don't know, the description for this thing claimed that it had AGC, or automatic gain control, but it doesn't really seem to. I mean, if I adjust the input volume, it gets bigger and smaller. So I would kind of expect that if it had AGC, I would expect it to kind of scale this up, even though the volume is low. But yeah, it looks like you kind of do have to set the audio correctly for to get the right dynamic range in the bars. So that's kind of annoying. Yeah, but let's see what happens. This is the clock disabled version when I unplug the audio. So it's going to show silence for a minute. And also I have a USB power meter off screen. It uses between 2 and 3 watts while it's running. And still in standby mode, it's at about 2.3 watts. So we can wait for this thing to go completely off. Let's see if yeah, I can still hear the high-pitched whine from the display. All right, and now it's timed out, so it's completely off now. And the power consumption, you can see down there on this meter, yeah, we're at 0.3 watts. So I think that's a decent way of doing standby. So yeah, I think I can basically just leave this thing or because I have the clock disabled, I can just leave these things plugged in all the time. And whenever the audio stops, then the display goes into a sleep mode. So for 2 of them, I'm talking less than 1 watt. So yeah, that's about it. I think my plan is I've got some line level to audio level, or what is it? Speaker level to line level converters. They're meant for like car amplifiers. But yeah, I have them on order. I'm planning to connect those to or basically I have a stereo system with standard like bookshelf speakers, and I want to tap the line level converter into those speakers, and then just mount these things onto the front of the speakers. And yeah, we'll see how that goes someday.